Hey YouTube, if this is the first time you are on my channel, my name is Felix and I help business leaders, coaches, and experts make their business become so hyper desirable they get clients without selling. Now today I just had an interesting conversation on Facebook, which I thought would be a tremendous teachable moment. Teachable moment. The reason why I say so is because many trainers, coaches, experts, leaders tend to have this idea that they have to go out and find clients. And what I always hope to tell these people is that there are more leads around you than you may think. But the reason why they are not responding to your posts, the reason why they're not getting in touch with you is perhaps got nothing to do with your strategy. Perhaps it's got nothing to do with your tactics or your techniques. Perhaps it's got everything to do with the character that you are, your personality, the way you behave, the way you interact, and the way you connect with people. And I just came across this conversation, and I'm gonna explain to you what transpired within this conversation. Hopefully, you guys can learn something from within it. And I will demonstrate to you how I, without absolutely trying at all, basically enroll someone to watch my webinar. I wasn't trying to do so. It just accidentally happened. And the moment that happened, I just thought, wow, many people should many people should take a look at this, because I go through life with a certain kind of mentality that works. And if you are going through life and people are not coming to you, then maybe, and you have been learning and you have been investing in so many courses and programs, learning more strategies, more techniques, more funnels, more plans, more stuff, more ideas, maybe you're asking the wrong question. So I'm going to exemplify it over here. Now, this part here, I came across this question on one of the Facebook groups that I'm a co-moderator in. Another fellow moderator asked this question: which one is more important? Number one, getting hot telephone numbers from strangers who are eagerly waiting for you to call them so that you can sell them your proven offer, or conscious eating and drinking. One or two. And for those of you who know me, you know that I stand for get clients without selling. And another thing that I stand against is that selling to strangers. I don't sell anything to strangers. I don't offer anything to strangers. In order for somebody to buy anything from me, they have to earn it. They have to basically get in touch with me, connect with me and my services. If I feel that they are the wrong fit, I am not even gonna try to get on a call with them. So getting hot telephone numbers from strangers doesn't make sense to me. It is anathema to my philosophy. Eagerly waiting for me to call them, I highly doubt so. Maybe it works for him. For me, it is absolutely not. So between one and two, I have more problem with food intake, because I'm getting more and more plump, gaining some fat here and there. So I put in number two, and without a lot of contextualization, because the way I see it, he's probably doing market research on what is it that people want more from him. So I said two, and he asked, what made you make that choice? By the way, if you guys are wondering why am I using a PowerPoint slide, the reason why is because I want to censor the names out, because I want to protect this person's privacy. I don't want you guys to go and hate him or whatever. Yeah, he is absolutely not aware and conscious about his behaviors, and there's nothing wrong with the guy. It's just that this is the way that most people behave. So it's just that he's more verbal about it. So I think kudos to him for being more open and transparent with his thought than most people. So for that reason, and for respect, I decided to censor out his name and his profile picture. So that is the reason why I'm using a slide. Otherwise, I would love to be doing this over Facebook site directly. Anyway, coming back to this, I explained I don't want to hop on calls with strangers to sell them something. I only spend time with people I resonate with, or if I'm being generous with them, meaning they must qualify themselves first before I spend time. Number two, I don't sell, people buy. And a lady actually over here, I think I realized on hindsight, maybe I should change the color. So this lady here, she has been following my feed and she's been commenting here and there. And she says, Felix, I am with you as always. Now, immediately, um, so this one over here is also a from the lady. So immediately over here, this guy here, he said, you know what? Give me a second. Okay, I'm back. So what I've done is that I have changed the color of the tag so that when you see blue, it's a lady, and if you see orange, that's the guy. Okay, so immediately this guy he said he responded over here, because there's a lady over here who says I'm with you always, and it's real. So this guy I'm not sure what he was thinking, but he said this is a wonderful comment. Is your mindset? Is this your mindset, or am I missing something? You have made me curious. So I think he thinks that she is saying she's sending support to him, but she's actually sending support to me. But I think he thinks that she's sending support to him. So he posted that, and basically she explained. She said, "I dislike phone calls in general. I am ADHD and autistic, so I find them invasive and mentally draining unless with the right person. And I tend to find that sales calls are manipulative, which I hate." By the way, so this fellow that I'm talking to, he loved to use the word manipulate because he in his mind, people get into a call with him for him to manipulate, and in his mind, he loved getting on a call with people, and in his mind, every single thing that we do in life is a form of selling. All right, so that is his perspective. I'm not gonna comment on that. I'm just gonna comment on my stance over here. So somehow you guys can already see he is pretty much in his own world. She's lending support to me, but he thinks that she's lending support to him. She literally tagged my name on it. Okay, now she said this, and he said this to me. He said, "How does it feel to hop on calls with strangers? How do they qualify themselves if you do not talk to them? If you are earning money, then you are selling something. Would you agree?" Those of you who are experienced in sales, you know that these are what we call leading questions. All right. If you're earning money, then you are selling something. Would you agree? These are questions created with the intention of eliciting people to say yes. And how does it feel to hop on calls with strangers? When somebody asks a question like that, without any form of permission, without really going into a deep conversation, without building rapport, what it tells me, and this is what it just tells me, is that this person is trying to let the other person admit a weakness. So how do they qualify themselves? Is you do not talk to them. It's a NLP, we call it meta model. So you try to elicit how it feels like on the other person. And here's the thing, I didn't engage in this conversation to try and change his opinion. I am just engaging in conversation because I was just scrolling by, I was feeling bored, so I just typed something inside. So he asked me these three questions, and then he let me share my opinion on selling. Selling is social, selling is service, selling is sweet. I do it the other way around. First, people buy what to buy, then secondly, I sell them. I have no idea what the hell he's talking about over here. And then he said, I've been selling for over 40 years. I have customers that have been buying for over 25 years. Now, in all of my interactions with him, he loved to talk about how he has touched 1 million lives already, and he has been selling for 40 years. He has been doing this business for how many decades, and he loves throwing his qualifications around. He loved it. And as you can see later on, even in this very short conversation, he threw it quite a number of times. I have no idea why he does that. It's completely ineffective in my opinion, but he just loved doing it. And in any one conversation, if you can see him doing this like 2 to 3 times in this conversation already, every single post, every single conversation that I have engaged with him via live Zoom call, he managed to find some way to talk about how he have managed to touch 1 million lives and selling for 40 years. Okay, now so what I said to him in response is, I understand your stance and I will appreciate if you can understand mine. So what I did was I basically told him that I understand your stance, but if you can understand mine, that'll be great. There's no changing my thoughts on this, because I'm clear. So I think that he believes that I am inexperienced in sales. So I tell him my qualifications so you can you can pause this and take a look later if you want to. I don't like talking about how great I am. I have systems in place, just to answer his question, I have systems in place to qualify people before they talk to me. If they want my time, they must be respectful and follow my processes. And on your point of, if you're earning money, you are selling something, I disagree. Whatever you think of as selling, I understand it's your opinion, it's just not mine. If you want my philosophy, ask for it. And so immediately after I said that, he posted this in response to this lady's over here. She said, she literally just tell him, I dislike phone calls in general. I'm ADHD and autistic, so I find them invasive, mentally draining. Guess what he did? Thank you for your response. Thank you for sharing your gifts. I would love to jump on a Zoom call with you on your terms. Talking to people like you is my DMP. DMP is some interesting new terminology that he invented. Many experts nowadays, they just love to invent terminologies, and it is okay to invent a terminology if it doesn't exist. But if it already exists, I honestly just don't. I just think that people who try to invent new terms for the sake of inventing new terms is just, I don't know. I do not know what's the word to call it. I just don't like it. I would love to qualify myself as the right person. What do you need from me? See, I have many lovely people who will confirm my intention. Here's a post in this group made about my DNP. Please read and convince yourself. What do you think? And he tagged her again. Now, here's the thing over here. Here's what happened over here. The conversation shifted from people weren't trying to ask him for help. People weren't trying to understand him better. They were trying to make themselves be known. They wanted to try to make themselves be heard. But this guy, instead of trying to understand what has already been said, he wants to get on a Zoom call with her. And yes, he said that on her terms, but there is no trust. There is absolutely no trust. And what is his attempt to build that trust? He dropped his qualification, DMP. And his the second qualification, his commitment. I would love to qualify myself as the right person. Now, the moment this happens, this person is already trying too hard. And those of you who know anything about sales, there is nothing as ugly as the sight of someone who is trying too hard. Okay, it applies in relationships, romantic relationships. It absolutely applies in sales. And then he dropped another qualification. I have many lovely people who will confirm my intentions. Here is a post. Now, but none of these things is effective because he's not listening. He's not listening at all. And he's trying to prove to her again and again and again how great he is, how trustworthy he is, how great he is, blah, 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 blah. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody gives a shit because the trust has already been lost. Already she said that I dislike phone calls. Right? He can have conversation over here. And you guys can already see whenever we are giving him our opinions, he is then trying to give his opinion back to us. Right? If you can notice that. When I say to, what makes you make that choice? I said this, and immediately he tries to, or at least the impression he gives is he tries to press his opinion on mine. Right? He's trying to clash, if you guys can see that. When somebody is giving you an idea, if you want to understand what the other person's idea is, ask questions. You don't keep on telling, you don't keep on talking. Ask questions, ask more and more questions. But what is he doing? He's just telling and telling and telling, and every single question he's asking is a way for him to win. It's a way for him to get his point. So thank you for your response. All of these things. Now, so after this text, she jumped in and she said, I mean this as a genuine feedback and not to be confrontational in any way. But I said I dislike phone calls, and your first response was to try to get me on one. This sweet lady is such a nice person. She took the time to really slowly explain every single bit. And I really feel for her, and I also feel for everyone who has been in conversation with this guy who don't feel like he gets it, because he never tries to understand, he never tries to read. And in his idea later on, like if you can see over here, He said that the pandemic brought me prematurely online in a big way. Now I'm here and I have the same rules as I have offline. Understand that cultures are different. Understand that not everyone speaks German. He's blaming the culture. He's blaming his English language barrier. He's blaming the pandemic. He's blaming the online, how online things are different. It is not different. It is a certain sense of beingness. It's a certain sense of personality and character. Are you trying to ask? Are you trying to pay attention? Or are you trying to press your intentions? That is the question over here that I want to bring, one of the biggest lessons I want to bring everyone to. So he come over here and she gave us some very good pointers. She said that I'm not sure what your intention with this call is. Is it to sell me? That feeds into manipulation. You see, she don't have trust. So many coaches dress up sales calls as strategy calls. So potential clients sign up thinking they're being given help, and all it is the coach making them feel like shit so that they can sell them the solution. There is so much hiding behind disingenuous freebies that don't actually give anything of quality away. As a coach, I want people to approach me already confident that I am the coach for them, and all we need to do is have a quick conversation to make sure it's definitely a good fit. As a potential client, I need to see from a coach that they definitely have what I need and want. Again, I want to go to them confident that I know they're my coach. I will know this based on their content, not a sales call where they use tactics to make me feel like I'm never going to succeed without them. I fully acknowledge that sales calls work. My personal belief is that everyone is smart enough to know when they want to invest and who with, that they don't need me coercing them into a sale. Bravo. Thank you for taking the time to write all of this. And I hope that the guy really appreciates the time it takes to type this whole sentence out, because for a random stranger, why would anybody want to do that unless someone is very, very kind? And so here's his response. His response was, there's a couple of things over here. His response was, thank you for this full explanation. My intention is always the same, to have a fruitful conversation with another human. The only way I know is to ask. I have worked with over 1.2 million people in my world. See that? Again, he's pushing his qualifications. He just doesn't get it, that people don't give a shit about his qualifications. And the only way I know is to ask. You can ask here. But he doesn't get it. He's still trying to get people into his call. And by the way, I've spoken to some of the people who has gotten into a call with him. And basically, some people who have the ones that I spoke with, all right, the ones that got in the call with me, he said, yeah, this guy is like that. He's constantly trying to sell something. And I'm aware that he has certain proponents as well, but honestly, I just don't know. I just don't understand why is it that there is this discrepancy between why some people are comfortable with him and some people are so uncomfortable with him. I do not know why. But for me, I know why is it for me. And why is it for me is because he's not paying attention to me. He's just pushing his agenda and his intention. So he said that the contradiction in this, the only way I know is to ask, but he's not really asking. He's asking, but he's asking to prove a point rather than asking in order for him to really learn. The pandemic brought me, now again, the blaming. There must be a way to just have normal conversations with people, or is everything a sales call? He is making everything a sales call. I'm confident I'm going to crack the code for having normal online conversation. How exactly does this add value to the person? Nothing. Many of the things over here, he talks a lot, but many of the things that he's talking about adds absolutely zero value to the person. All it does is push people away. And here's again, you see, did you read what this person wrote? Again, basically what he's saying is, look at me, I am so amazing. Why can't you see it? I have this person writing a testimonial about me. Why don't you take a look at what this person's testimonial is? And then the next question is, what is your next step? What the fuck? Would you blame the lady to not respond? Until so far, I didn't see any response, and I don't think she should respond. And here is his response to me. I have no intention of changing your thoughts on anything and advise against it. What I understand from high-ticket closing and our extremely high-pressure techniques has nothing to do with sales. I would love to learn more about your philosophy. And I just basically gave him my whatever. Okay? I gave him my link. Here is the write-up. and here's my 30 minutes masterclass on YouTube on being the sun. And just for fun, I tagged the lady because I see that I see that she's responding to me. Now, here's the very important thing. I noticed that she was responding to me with full support. So what I did was, have you seen this before? I wonder if my video would be able to capture your attention throughout. Now, here's the reason why I said that. Because she has ADHD. I have let go of proving myself long time ago. I am in the process of improving myself. The only way we improve is to ask for feedback. I want to know whether or not my videos are able to capture and retain and hold the attention of someone who is ADHD. That's reason number one. Reason number two, since she responds so well to me, I would like to return or reciprocate as well. So part of my philosophy when it comes to business is that we serve people who are responding to us. We don't serve people who are not responding to us. She is serving me. I want to serve them. Plus, on top of that, there is inside the description of my YouTube video, there are links to my offers, to my webinars, other free webinars, right? There's many options that she could do if she choose to commit more towards my path. If she chooses to commit more towards my path, she could subscribe. She could join my free community. She could participate in my webinars. She could contact me via DM after that to see how we can work together. There's so many options. I'm opening up options because she responds. Notice how natural that is. Imagine this, if you respond, then only the other person open up more doors to you. How does that feel to you? For me, I don't know about you, but for me, it feels great, right? So immediately she said, I haven't, but I will check it out. I have time for everything you say. Give me a hand. And here's what happens next. Ahaha, cool, thanks. And she said, shows what you do works, doesn't it? We are aligned on so many topics and your energy is clean and calm. I could tell on your video with Aaron that you were someone I'd be comfortable chilling with. What is that? It's kind of an invitation to open a DM. Although I didn't DM her, I don't intend to DM her yet. Unless she shows more participation. I always observe first. I always observe somebody and I reward the people who are responsive to me. So I'll be taking a look and see whether she will continue to respond. But in the meantime, I want to acknowledge her. So I said, means a lot to hear that. And in the meantime, this guy constantly proving. Constantly talking about his qualification, talking about himself, how great he is. So what can we learn in this whole conversation? In this whole video? Number one, it's got nothing to do. The biggest lessons over here is that it's got nothing to do with what your tactic is, what your strategy is, right? So it's got nothing to do with your funnel or whatever not. All of this means nothing unless you have the beingness and the character and the personality to back it up. There is so many incongruencies. There are so many little things here and there, and these things are unconscious. He has no idea, and if he asks, I would give him this whole feedback, but he never asks. He's not interested in asking. He's not interested to learn from me or the people who are not responding to him. All he wants to do when he asks the questions to us is, what can he sell us? What kind of answers would be favorable? He's asked, and if we give him an answer which is unfavorable, he would try to turn it into something that is favorable, which is exactly the kind of selling manipulative tactics that we don't like. But this is unconscious, you see. Somebody in his life has hammered him so much in so many ways, brainwash him into believing all of these things are all right, all of these things are empowering, so-called, to the point where he literally believed all of these things, right? I don't know about you, but for me, this is ego. Okay, I have ego too. But it is a matter of awareness. How aware are we? How aware are we that about whatever it is that we are doing here? So sometimes it's got nothing to do with your strategies or funnels or tactics or techniques. None of it. It's got everything to do with who you are. I know that who I am is currently giving me a certain kind of results, and there are so many things I need to work on as well. But everybody needs to realize that the most important work that we do for the world is not the work that we do on the world, but the work that we do in ourselves. That is the most important thing that everyone needs to realize. Without this, nothing is going to work. Your character will only, success will only take you as far as your character can hold you. So that's the primary learnings. The other secondary learnings, you guys can check it off as well. Listen to your market. Don't try to correct your market. If your market says they don't like selling, why do you keep using the word selling? You can either correct your market or you can pay attention to the market. You can't have both. Don't press your intentions. Trade your intentions away from to attention. Trade your intentions away for attention. Pay more attention to your target market. Do that. And you will get more and more people to respond to you. And this happened just over the course of like 15 minutes. Right? If you can do something like this, if you pay attention, if you do as I do, right? Pay attention to people, talk in a way that resonates with people, learn their language, speak their language, you're going to have more leads than you can handle. Right? And that is all. Hopefully this video has been valuable for you guys. If you like it, drop a comment. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you don't like. I especially value what you guys don't like, because if you don't like, if you tell me what you don't like, I will be able to do something about it. So speak with me, connect with me. I want to hear more from you guys. See you.